Hi there, it's Sam with the Warrior Forge Project in Boise, Idaho. I'm here today to talk to everybody about Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I am not a survivor of domestic violence, but as an instructor with the Warrior Forge Project, I have had to take a women's defense course so that I understand some of the signs and symptoms of domestic violence, recognize it. If anyone needs to reach out and talk, I'm always ears. I'm on social media. I am probably going to comment below this video. If you want to talk, please feel free to reach out. I wanted to talk today about some of the signs. So, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're seeing things like disproportionate reactions to what's going on, you burnt dinner and you're being screamed and yelled at or physically assaulted, that is a sure sign of domestic violence. Another sure sign is somebody discounting your nose. Maybe you don't want to do something. You don't want to go out. You don't want to have sex that night. Them discrediting your nose, using any excuse to make you feel like your no is stupid or invalid. That is another form of abuse, and your no should be respected. This is a common trait with any predator, but we do see it with domestic violence. Another one is gaslighting, and it's really hard to explain gaslighting if you have not been at the hands of it. But the abuser will make the victim feel as if they're crazy and make them almost double think everything that they do and say, did I actually do that? I said that. He said I said that, so I must have said that. Or making you feel discredited for thinking things, kind of going back to that discrediting your no, like maybe I am overreacting or being too sensitive. And this all falls into different parts of the domestic violence cycle. So there's an initial honeymoon period where everything's just fine and everything feels great. It's loving and sweet. But then tension starts to happen and build. The victim in this case might try appeasing and doing anything he or she can to keep the abuser happy and make them their favorite food, or I'm a big food person, but they might do anything they can to keep their abuser happy, and then there's a snap, and there's an acute violence that occurs, and that could be physical, mental, emotional, sexual. Any form of abuse at this point can start and be the violence that triggers. The survivor victim is going to then try to leave, and then the abuser is going to do anything they can to reel that person back in, keep them under their control, because that's all the abuser wants, is to have control over someone. They want to be able to manipulate and have whatever they want. And then we cycle back to honeymoon, because the abuser will say, oh, I'm so sorry, please take me back, please. Survivor is going to forgive, and then we start back over at that honeymoon period. We go honeymoon, tension, violence, honeymoon, tension, violence, over and over until the abuse comes to a peak where the abuser can kill their victim, or the victim survivor snaps and goes, I don't need this, and they leave. What we do with the Warrior Forge Project is we try and make sure that everyone knows that they're worth it, that they can leave if they are in that kind of situation or relationship. You don't need anyone's permission to leave. You can leave on your own accord. you're worth way more than what your abuser might be telling you. They might tell you you're garbage, you're trash, you're nothing without me. Just know you're worth so much more than that. You're a strong, independent individual. Man, woman, both men and women can be abused. You are worth way more than being abused by some, I'm trying not to swear, some garbage human being who seems to think that they deserve to control every aspect of your life and hurt you. They're worth way more than that. I want to share a little bit of one of my friend's stories, because I don't have one really of my own for domestic violence, but she was in a relationship with a individual for a couple years, and he was constantly emotionally abusing her, making her think that the next civil war is going to break out, and without him, that she would inevitably die. He was constantly sexually abusing her and hurting her. The first time I ever went to her house, I walked in and I went to go use the restroom, and there were holes in the walls, and I immediately turned around and said, "Do we need to take you to the police station? Are you okay? What's going on?" At this point, she had broken up with him, but was still maintaining contact with him. And because he's an abuser, he continued to abuse and manipulate, and was still abusing her even though they were no longer in a relationship. Since then, she's blocked him on everything. She's free of him, and I've watched her in the past 3 months get so confident. Oh my goodness. And she comes to class and she kicks ass, and I'm so proud of her. Anyways, if y'all need to reach out, talk to anyone, please do so. You're not alone. And you can Kadima through it. If you don't know what Kadima means, it's something we use with the Warrior Forge project. In Hebrew, it is a rough translation to charge. You can keep charging through, you can charge out of it, and you're worth more than being abused. So please reach out. Anyone in the Warrior Forge project, your family, your friends, and your group that you may not have talked to in a while, they'd be surprised to know maybe why you haven't reached out. There's always ears that will be listening. Thank y'all.